Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're talking about how to keep your internet modem running during brownouts and power outages. I don't know why powder came out of my mouth, but luckily it didn't. But anyway, in these days of extreme weather, it's very important for you to be able to have a lifeline to the world by making sure that your internet connection is up and running during times of power outages to your home. Having access to the internet can mean keeping entertained while your house has no power. It also means that you can stay productive at home and at work if you can keep your internet running. Now, as we all know, part of your internet and Wi Fi connection requires some sort of power, but the actual internet signal into your home does not need power. So even though your power is out at home, it doesn't necessarily mean that the internet is not sending a signal to your house unless there is a power outage towards the internet box that supplies internet to your home. Now, how can you keep your internet running when there's no power? Well, one of the best things that you can do is to purchase a UPS or an uninterrupted power source running in your house. These devices, which looks like a brick or larger depending on the UPS that you purchase, can allow you to run a specific amount of electronics throughout your home using UPSs. Now, to give you an example of a UPS, let's go to APC, which is one of the more popular UPS companies out there. So most UPS will probably look like this example here. It's a box. You can click specific amount of items. This one, I believe, allows you to hit 6 or 7 devices on your UPS backup. Now, UPSs are important because they also allow surge protection to the devices that they're connected to. So not only do you have a power bank that's running your devices, you also have an item that will prevent or protect your devices from a power surge if it were to come into your house during extreme weather. Now, most people will not invest in a UPS. Number one, because they don't know about them. But number two, as you can see, these boxes are pretty darn bulky. And they're a little bit larger and a little bit more costly than a power strip that you would use for your computer and devices. And power strips are pretty cheap, but at the same time, they don't offer any protection if your devices were to get hit by a normal power strip. So UPS is a very good investment that everyone should have in their home. Most consumers don't, and it's a shame. A lot of businesses have on some of their devices, but not all, but it's a good idea to get a UPS. And as you can see, they come in a variety of different sizes. Here's one for $69, which allows you to have, oh, how many outlets do we have on here? I'm not even counting. I'm just like looking at it. But they kind of give you examples of how you would set one up. This is a UPS in action. You've got plug-ins, you got a button, and there's a battery inside that box that pops on whenever it loses, or your home or office loses power. There's bigger UPSs that you can get that are bulkier, um, but essentially think of a UPS as a power strip on steroids. That's the proper term. Now, going back to how to keep your internet connected, again, if you look at this UPS, you can plug both your modem and router into an APC UPS or another brand of UPS. When the power goes out, then the modem and your router will continue to use battery, and it will alert you when it loses power or a brownout because it will beep. But these devices ensure that you can still have access to the internet when you are working. Now, under normal circumstances, you're losing internet connection because your modem and router are being powered by the electricity in your business or your home. You lose power, then it will automatically shut those devices off. Another inconvenience, especially if you are living in an older home or experiencing brownouts during extreme storms, your modem or you will lose power to your home. Once that happens, and it comes back on immediately, even if it's for a short second, then your modem and router are going to take at least a minute or two to come back on. During this process, you're waiting and trying to access important information or do work on the internet. But if your modem keeps rebooting and restarting, it's going to take forever for that device to come back on and be steady, because most modems and routers need a power cycle of a few minutes in order to A, establish the Wi-Fi connection with the router, and B, with your internet modem, it needs to power cycle and reestablish that connection with your internet provider. So with the UPS, then you are having no interruptions with your power, and it will allow you to continue to work. Now, your next question is how do I purchase a UPS, or which one should I go with? Well, one of the things that you need to consider with your devices is how many that you're going to have plugged in at during normal times. So you would want to check out how many plugins that you have for a UPS device if you were going to purchase one, to verify that you have enough room for all of your plug-in devices. So as you can see, they come in different models and different types, and it all depends on how many devices you need. Next is how much battery do you think you're going to need for those devices? If we're talking about internet modems, then you may not necessarily need as much power for your UPS as you would if you were going to run a variety of things such as a printer or even a desktop computer versus a laptop computer when you're using a UPS. But for most intents and purposes, you could get by with the standard UPSs, which cost anywhere from $69 to $99 to run your internet modem. If you're going to have more equipment, then you need to spend a little bit more on a UPS in order to ensure that you have enough battery life in order to make sure that your modem and other technology stays plugged in. Now, if you're running on mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets, you could always buy a battery pack for smaller devices like notebooks. I almost said laptops, but notebooks, tablets, and smartphones, because those don't require much power. You could also use a UPS to charge your phone. Plug it in while it's running on battery, and it will charge your phone. So these are some of the things that you need to think about when you want to keep power and your internet going in times of extreme weather, or even if you live in a neighborhood or city or home that experiences problems or power problems from time to time. One of the other things that people are starting to do now, rather than just going with the UPS, is going with larger brands of battery chargers, especially in this digital age. A couple of products I want to show you that you could use, one being from Jackery, offer a battery solar generator to keep your devices running longer in times of power. Now, I've got a Jackery, I'm not going to haul it in here, but it makes a good device as far as making sure that you can use your items. This is kind of the extreme with Jackery as far as using vacuums and stuff, but as you can see, Jackery products are a little pricier, especially if you get the solar generator. But again, if you've got your modem plugged into these devices, you can definitely make sure that you will have power at all times. You could even start off with the Explorer 1000, and that would be enough to power your internet modem and some of your devices around the home. If you know or think that you're going to be without power for a little bit longer, then you can always get the Jackery solar powers to ensure that your computer devices and your internet modem is going to run for a long time. One of the other things that you can look at would be from EchoFlow, and I'll show you that here in a second, devices that you could get to power your modem in those times of extreme weather. So let's get rid of that. You can see some of the prices on these items. As you can see, they're pretty pricey, but again, if you think you're going to be in a situation where you need extreme power, then you would want to get a Jackery or an EchoFlow device to keep your devices. Now, again, UPS devices are a good thing to have in times of extreme weather. It can keep your internet going and other electronics going while you wait out the storm or the power outage. Now, if you have minimum power outages like we do, we've only experienced one complete power outage in a 4-year period. So UPS worked handy in those times because it definitely ran our internet for a 2-hour period. If you're curious which device we used for that, I'm going to go back, and it was a APC battery backup, and it actually was the APC backup UPS 650VA. So at least that gives you an idea of what device you could get for at least a 2-hour period. Anything a little bit longer, UPS probably would have ran 3 hours on the modem and the router because they don't use that much power. So keep that in mind. Longer periods of time, you would have to get a bigger device and run it in order to keep your internet accessible for entertainment and emergency purposes, just to make sure that you have access. Even Alexa devices can run, and Google Home devices can run on UPSs. So whatever you have that's mission critical with and you think that you may need a battery backup in instances of power outages and brownouts, then consider a UPS or a Jackery or an Echo Edge. With that said, if you've got comments or questions, leave them in the comment section below. Love to hear from you to find out what questions you may have about battery backups and extended battery backups. With every video, I always ask that you leave a comment, like it, and share it with your friends, because I know that you have people out there that may have issues with their computers and technology. So the purpose of these videos is to help you get more from the technology devices you use at home and at work. I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile, and thanks for watching.